name is Hong Zhe, and my topic is the biodiversity of sea animal around Taiwan, and I will focus on the problem of overfishing. Okay, this is my outline. First, I will talk about sea animal biodiversity and what and why is it so important. And then I will talk about the overfishing problem of Japanese eel in Taiwan. What is sea animal biodiversity? Animal biodiversity is defined by the variety of life in genes, species, and habitats. That means not only animals, plants, but also the whole environment is included in the biodiversity. And then, what is sea animal? Sea animals definition includes estuaries, coral reefs, coastal and oceanic places. All the fish communities, all the animal communities in these 4 places were defined by the sea animal. And with these 2 definitions combined is the sea animal biodiversity. And why is it so important? They provide a great wide variety of goods and services with all the resources, like not only food, but also we can use the resources to productions and feed up millions of people's needs. And then the algae and the germs in the ocean can do detoxification. Okay. But the sea animal biodiversity is facing a crisis. With abundant biodiversity, they can have a great stability and great productivity. But now, they were directly inflected by exploitation, I will define it later, and pollution. With all the agriculture industry, they go into the sea or go into the ocean, they will all end up in the ocean. And then is the habitat destruction. The human use of coastal lands will change and destroy all the habitats. And they was indirectly influenced by the climate change. A slight change of ocean sea water temperature will change the whole environment and lead to a devastating result. And then there is a kind of related perturbations of ocean biogeochemistry, and they will harm the sea animal in the water. Okay, what is exploitation? That is human takes resources, not only fishing animals from the ocean, but everything takes from the ocean. Take too much from it and it won't recover. Okay. The definition of the overfishing is the human act of extracting any animal from the water, quota fauna, with the rate greater than the reproduction rate. That means with year goes years, they will get less and less. Okay. And that is the main point. They will get less every year and eventually get to extinction. Okay, my vulnerable species, I focus on the Japanese eel. They were found in the Western Pacific around 140 east and 18 to 42 degrees north. And they were a kind of catadromous fish. That means they spawn in the ocean and they grow in the fresh water. And here is their picture. And mostly human uses with food consumption. And the greatest consumption country is Japan. Japan can consume up to 78,000 tons of Japanese eels every year. Okay, this is the ecology of Japanese eel. First, they hatch from eggs into a leaf-like larva, and these larvae goes with the current. They won't swim, and then they grow into the glass eel, and they will from here go to estuaries and go into fresh water and grow into the yellow eels, and then the silver eels. And they will mature, and they will mate and go back and hatch eggs, and this goes on. And they go with the currents, we can define the place, the ocean in Japan, China, and Taiwan. These were the same place, and they won't mix with the other oceanic places. Okay, human mostly catch glass eel and mature eels. We catch glass eels and farm them and grow and sell them, or we catch wild eels. But this is only a small part. Okay, it's mainly we don't know how to hatch them in tank, so we can only catch glass eel from the wild. So that means with these captured amount, we can know how many was the population in the free ocean. Okay, what is the fishing crisis we're facing? Okay, the Japanese eel population was dramatically declined since the 1970s. You can see this is the eel population in the whole world. From 1970s, we began to more farm the Japanese eels. With all these eel farmed, we got to take the wild west eels because we don't know how to hatch them. So with these all catch in the ocean, the population were less and less. Okay, and then we can found in this is from Taiwan. In 1984, we captured adult eel with 2,000 tons, but in the year 2000 we only got 700 tons, and we all found that to the same result. We got less and less eels in the ocean. Okay. And with the microsatellite research, we found that their genetic diversity is getting less and less. Their DNA was more and more similar every year. And the fishery in Taiwan, first, we fish them from November to February, and with a peak in December and January. And we fish them in estuaries to coastal lands. And the fish methods is hand net plus light in the estuary place, and with a little further is a hand trawling net, and more further is triangle net trawled by boats. And we found that in the research, the exploitation rate is from 40 to 80%, and the recapture rate is 46 to 60%. And that means over half of the Japanese eels released into the ocean were recaptured in the same season. And that turns out the population in the ocean is really small. And about this problem, what is the scale and the consequence of these problems? Okay, the scale. As I said, the currents is around Japan, China, and Taiwan. We are in the same aquatic volume. So, with Japanese eel, get less and less is the consequence. After a year, you can see we got less and less Japanese eels, and then they will turn into one thing, extinction. And without the Japanese eels, we can't fish them. We got no economic, and we can't eat them. That is a great problem. Okay. And how about what happens worldwide? In America, they plan to submit the Japanese eels as endangered species in the CITES in the year 2013. Well, they didn't submit it. Well, and Japanese abundance was decreased since 1970s, and this thing also happened to the European eels and American eels. They all decreased in the 1970s since we began to greatly harvest it. In Japan, the Japanese eel is in they call the red list. That is the endangered species, because by the 1970s they got 230 tons per year, but to now, in the year 2013, we only got 10 tons per year, and that is the qualification of endangered species. And maybe later we'll got less and less and no more. And here we got a restoration plan. The restoration plan in Taiwan is held by the Taiwan Fisheries Research Institute, and their plan is to have. They said there's a non-fishery area. You can see this is a non-fishery area map. You can see it's all around Taiwan except for Nantou and Hsinchu, such places. And they said the non-fishery time, March, April, and October, that is slightly more than the fishery season. And in these three months, the statistic has that 10,000 was caught in these 3 months. And without these 10,000 caught, we got the population slightly restored. And Taiwan was cooperating with China and Japan. The three fishery bureaus of these three countries agreed to share the information of catches, aquatic culture, and trades, all the amounts, and we'll have the complete aid report every year. And that is my reference. Thank you.